We just got off the bus from Palma to Valldemossa, and there's a reason everybody's here, because it is beautiful.
Why does everyone fall in love with Mallorca? After spending a day in Valldemossa, we think we found one of the reasons. Just 30 minutes from the bustle of Palma lies a village that feels as though it belongs in another century. We found stone houses draped in flowers, winding mountain streets, and a monastery where one of history's greatest composers found both inspiration and heartbreak. Today, we're taking the public bus from Palma into the Serra de Tramuntana mountains to discover why Valldemossa is considered one of the most beautiful villages in all of Spain. Welcome to Wandering with Rick and Rachel. Come explore with us.
We're a director and an actor who've spent our lives telling stories on stage. Now we're chasing new ones out in the world, one unscripted moment at a time.
This time in the mountain village of Valldemossa on the island of Mallorca. We're on the bus and we're leaving Palma de Mallorca, going to Valldemossa. The bus station is subterranean, underground. Buses are quite nice, easy to wait here, and we're looking forward to this drive. The distance to Valldemossa is only about 17 kilometers from Palma's main transportation hub, the Estacio Intermodal. We took bus number 203, which leaves regularly and costs around €3 to €4 each way, depending on how you pay and whether you're traveling solo or as a group. If you go by car, there's parking in town. The buses wind their way into the Serra de Tramuntana, a UNESCO World Heritage mountain range. And in less than 40 minutes, the streets of Palma gave way to some of Mallorca's most spectacular mountain scenery. The bus uses a tap-in, tap-out system, so that's the little location where when we're exiting, we're going to be able to tap our credit card that we used when we got on. And here we are coming into Valldemossa. We're coming up this mountain road. Valldemossa sits around 430 meters or 1,400 feet above sea level. In contrast with Mallorca's generally warm climate, the town has a cool mountain climate, which is quite distinct from much of the island. Its honey-colored stone buildings date back centuries and are among the finest preserved examples of traditional Mallorcan architecture. This is the main area of town where most of the bus stops are, and also where the cabs are waiting.
I'm figuring out our route.
And Rachel is planning our route.
I was just following the directions, and it took us away from the crowds. We're on our way to the square, and we ended up in this beautiful rose garden, which I'm sure has a name, and we'll figure it out. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So that's Jardin Jean Charles. The first, Carles. Juan Carles? I think it's Chopin.
Originally a Moorish farming community, Valldemossa became a Christian settlement after King James I. Due to its unique climate, wealthy Mallorcan nobles later built summer homes. One thing we discovered is that almost every building is built from the same local golden gray limestone. With a permanent population of just over 2,000 people, in the height of summer, an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 visitors might wander these streets in a single day. To help avoid the crowds, arrive as early in the day as you can, or after the cruise ship excursions have left for the afternoon. This particular square is quite lovely. It's, of course, full of cafes and restaurants around us.
Big hat.
Yes.
The bigger the hat.
Yeah, the sun is pretty intense today.
But the bigger the hat, the less the sunscreen you have to use.
Good plan. The Royal Charterhouse was our first stop. Before it became a monastery, this was the royal palace of King Sancho I of Mallorca, who ruled from 1311 to 1324. Suffering from chronic asthma, Sancho sought refuge in Valdemossa's cooler mountain climate, believing the fresh air would improve his health. His peaceful retreat would later become the Royal Charterhouse, forever linking the village to both royalty and spirituality. In 1399, it was transformed into a Carthusian monastery, and for more than 4 centuries, these quiet halls became home to one of Christianity's most secluded religious orders. The Carthusians lived largely in solitude. Each had his own small house complete with a study, workshop, and private garden, where he spent most of his day in prayer, reading, and quiet work. Meals were passed through a small hatch in the wall. Conversation was rare, and silence was considered a path to spiritual reflection rather than a hardship. Once a week, the monks were finally free to speak with one another when they gathered for a walk through the surrounding mountains. Standing here today, surrounded by the peaceful gardens and mountain views, it's easy to imagine why they chose Valldemossa as a place to devote their lives to contemplation.
So What's fascinating is there's so many people in this town and hardly anybody's here in this museum. And it's so beautiful. Hello. If you buy the extra €2 to walk up to the tower. Hi. Hold on. It's narrow. Yeah. You're only allowed for a few minutes. We're still going. It takes a minute and a half to get there.
So we're up in the tower, and you're allowed 3 minutes up in the tower, but the view of the town is incredible.
But does that include going up and going down? We may have to leave in 10 seconds.
We might. We may. Yes. Oh, it's like time to go. Yes, this is under the tower, and apparently it is the place where the workers could come and eat meat, and where women visitors would be able to stay, and the monks very generously, apparently, called it hell.
Did the monks call it hell, or did the guests call it hell?
It was nicknamed hell.
From the guests.
Oh.
Hola.
How'd you get to that side?
Magic, but not magic.
For more than 400 years, silence defined life within these walls. It ceased being a monastery in 1835, and then, in the winter of 1838, music filled these halls, the music of Frédéric Chopin. Celebrated composer Frédéric Chopin arrived with the French novelist Georges Sand, hoping Mallorca's mild climate would improve Chopin's failing health. Instead, they encountered one of the island's coldest and wettest winters on record. Yet, despite the difficult conditions, Chopin composed many of his beloved preludes, Opus 28, making this brief 3-month stay one of the most productive periods of his career. Today, visitors can tour the rooms where they lived and, if you time your visit right, hear Chopin's music performed in the very place that inspired it.
I'm smitten.
So we just went across the street from the monastery part, and the tour just continued.
But you have to go into the building across the way.
Yeah.
It looks like you've exited out, because there's the Chopin Museum, which you have to have a separate ticket for, which we don't have. But there's another doorway, and it's a continuation of...
But this building also is connected to Chopin. How is that?
It's the same building where he stayed. He just was in other rooms. You just have to pay extra to go to his bedroom.
One of the most fascinating rooms here is its historic apothecary, considered one of the best preserved monastic apothecaries in Spain. Because the monks lived in relative isolation, they prepared their own medicines using herbs and plants grown in their gardens. We love seeing the beautifully preserved wooden cabinets, ceramic pharmacy jars, and centuries-old laboratory instruments.
There's no signage, so we are assuming that this is a giant puppet of Chopin and of Georges Sand, and it's probably for festivals where they parade them through the streets. They have to have places they see out of, so pardon me, Mr. Chopin. So there's where the little puppeteer's face will come out.
I don't think we need to say anything more about that.
I'm saying the placement. The placement is unfortunate, and George has.
But very practical
she
from a
has
theatrical point of view.
She has a similar problem.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well.
We had to go there.
Yeah, it is what it is. You need to see where you're walking. So after going to the museum, we were hungry. It's a little after, it's almost 2:35 now. And we were in this beautiful square, and there were several restaurants. And Rachel, of course, looked on her phone right away. And the one next door was a 1.4 rating. And the one over there was a 1.8
or
something like that. And this place, the little place, which is Es Roquissar, with the fewest tables, was 4.4. So we got excited about that. There were seats available, and we're going to see what our food's like.
And they gave us lemonade and paper straws. Thank you very much.
Here's mine. Oh, that mint is so nice and fresh.
They got a little mint, and there's it's sparkling water, right?
Yeah.
Come and get this. Don't get a sangria or a cava. Get their house-made lemonade. Cool down. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. lemony.
For lunch, we just went with 2 tapas. One was a plate of 4 beef meatballs with some radishes and carrots. And the other is, well, describe it, Rachel. It's really interesting.
So, wish you could have seen how pretty it was when it came out, but we were a little bit hungry, so we just dug right in.
We just dug right in.
So it's a roasted eggplant, and it's roasted, you can see the char from the skin. So you don't eat too much of it because it tastes like charred skin, eggplant skin. But it's great. It's roasted eggplant stuffed with ricotta cheese and capers. And the capers give you that really good salty thing.
And then a little bit of tomato sauce.
It's got some tomato sauce around it. So you get a little salty from the capers and smooth, creamy richness from the ricotta and a little tang from the tomato and eggplants, which are never bad in my opinion. Delicious. What about Santa Catalina Thomàs was, I believe, she was born in this village and in this house. She is revered throughout Valldemossa, and when we were walking through the old town a little part, there are all these tiles to hers. And her home has been turned into a small chapel. And I don't know why she's a saint. We'll look that up and find out for you and give you more information on Santa Catalina Thomàs.
Born in Valldemossa in 1531, she's Majorca's only canonized saint. Orphaned at a young age, Catalina was known for her deep faith, humility, and reported mystical visions before becoming a nun in Palma.
So here's a fountain, the Fountain of the Blessed One, as she is known here in Valldemossa. It's a very peaceful spot.
Very contemplative spot, yeah.
It's very Tuscan hill town, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very reminiscent of a Tuscan hill town.
The kind of golden stone, the windy streets, the up and down, the built into what feels like the side of a mountain. So that's what it reminds me of. And of course, someone from Mallorca or Spain would go to a Tuscan hill town and say, this reminds me of Valldemossa.
Exactly.
Of a Spanish hill town.
Oh, this is beautiful. This street is just really quite charming. Folks have put these flower pots all along the walkway. You just come across these beautiful little alleys. And as we come around this corner, there's just all of these plants on the sides of the buildings. Wow. The streets, buildings, and flowers are exceptionally beautiful here, which made us wonder, why do its residents work so hard to keep it this way? And while tourism is certainly a motivating factor, we think the answer lies more in a deep sense of local pride. National Geographic has called Valldemossa one of the most beautiful mountain villages in the world. Many families have lived here for generations and are incredibly proud of their village. As we walked its streets, we discovered that nearly every doorway was decorated and every window box was carefully designed and maintained. We found that the longer we stayed in Valldemossa and wandered its alleys and streets, the more it revealed its charms to us. Be sure to stay with us to check out parts 1 and 3 of our Mallorcan adventure as we dive into Palma de Mallorca, explore the northern part of the island while enjoying its exceptional beaches, and spend a day sailing in the Mediterranean. And if you want to visit more of Europe's fascinating places with us, please like and subscribe below.